Welcome to Gillette 2006 FIFA World Cup. Coming up today, we meet England's best young player. Profile Group B debutants Trinidad and Tobago, and discover Patrick Vieira's dream team. But to begin today's show, we turn our attention to Group E to meet a country making their 5th straight appearance at the finals, Team USA.
For the US national team going to the World Cup this summer, it's all about respect. In 2002, they reached the quarter-finals, narrowly losing out to eventual finalists Germany. Now they're heading to the home of the country that beat them, with a mission that some no longer consider all that impossible.
We were very optimistic, and we want to do better than we did last time, and that's get to the semifinal. We got to the quarterfinal last year, or 4 years ago. Now we want to get to the semifinal. We won't be satisfied unless we do one better.
What's important now is that we continue to demonstrate to the world that we're competitive with anybody, and we just get better, and that's our goal.
In the 8 years since Bruce Arena took over as coach, he's created a side to give US fans plenty to shout about. He's helped them shed their reputation as a second-tier footballing nation and developed a team that not only plays consistently well, but strikes a balance between youth and experience.
McBride's and Martier. McBride scores for the USA. In towards Landon Donovan. What a tidy finish. And here's DeMarcus Beasley. What a cool strike by DeMarcus Beasley.
The majority of the squad is based in the US, playing their club football in the country's domestic Major League Soccer Championship. This has allowed Arena to begin his preparations early by bringing the US players together 6 months prior to the start of the tournament.
We have the players that are playing in America in the domestic league. They're in a 2-month training camp and playing some friendlies, which gets them going because their season ended a while ago. And then we have about half the team that will be made up of players that are playing in Europe.
The European-based players won't join up with the squad until a month before the World Cup begins, but the likes of DeMarcus Beasley and Claudio Reyna will still have an important role to play.
Immediately when they come into camp, the mood changes, the tone changes, and there's a professionalism and a seriousness that they understand because they deal with it every single day. It's not the odd national team game here. They understand every time you get on the field, it means business.
Reyna plays it into DeMarcus Beasley! Oh, what a goal!
They're fit, they understand the magnitude of the World Cup in Europe, they understand our opponents, and hopefully we can step on the field with a certain comfort level that we belong and position ourselves to qualify through the group.
Qualifying for the last 16 might be easier said than done. Many regard Group E as one of the toughest in the first round, and there won't be an easy game for the USA as they play Italy, the Czech Republic and Ghana.
I think our tendency is to say, well, we've got the Czechs first and then the Italians, and then, okay, it's okay, now we have Ghana. Well, you can't underestimate a team like Ghana. They're too athletic and too creative, and they could beat you 4 or 5-0 if they're on the right day. With
Italy, the style that they play, I think it's important that you don't give up a goal because, over history has shown that the Italians defend really well, so it's a game that we have to be very clever in the way we play.
The tough draw has also highlighted a sense of injustice in the US camp. Not only are they currently ranked in FIFA's top 10, but Mexico, who they finished above in qualifying, have been seeded, and it hasn't gone down too well with the players.
We couldn't figure out FIFA's reasons and why. I mean, we beat them in the last World Cup, we won our group, we won the Gold Cup. This was all in the last 4 years, so I think we had a pretty good case to get a seed, which turned out I think they got a more favorable group than us because of that. So, yeah, looking back, it's disappointing, but we can't do anything about it. It would have been nice, to be able to get a seed as well in going into this World Cup.
Seeded or not, at least the US have the advantage of continuity within the squad. The core of the team have been playing together for over 4 years, and Arena is one of only 3 coaches going to Germany who were in charge of the same team at Japan Korea in 2002.
We don't have world-renowned players. We don't have players that are on the FIFA Player of the Year ballot. Therefore, it's critical that we're a close-knit unit, and we understand what our players need to do on both sides of the ball.
We pretty much all know each other, from in and out, because Bruce keeps usually the core of the group together, and then he'll bring maybe a couple young players in to play. But he usually keeps the same group of players, together and start every game.
In here towards McBride, the goalkeeper spilled it, Landon Donovan scores!
In contrast to 4 years ago, the quality of their group will make it a lot harder for the US to progress to the knockout stages of the tournament. But the fact they don't appear on many people's World Cup radar may just work in their favour.
We like teams to take us for granted because, we pounce on them and, we can play. I mean, we're not crazy to say we're going to win the World Cup in Germany.
I think there are many people around the world that still don't respect the United States, so it's our challenge each and every World Cup to show that we belong.
Time to start our profiles of candidates for FIFA's newest prize now, the Gillette Best Young Player Award. To find out more, log on to www.fifaworldcup.com. But let's start with a forward who at 17 became the youngest ever footballer to play for the England senior team.
He's still only 20, but since his £23 million move from Everton to Manchester United in 2004, he's become what many people regard as the most complete player of his generation.
I think probably from about 14, I thought, well, I want to be a football player, and that was the only thing I had in my mind, to be a football player. I didn't think about anything else. So then, lucky enough, when I was 16, I got put on the bench against Southampton away for Everton, and then the season after I started the first game of the season against Tottenham, so I was delighted, and then I just really want to take my chance and try and establish myself as a first-team player.
He's certainly done that as a prolific striker with Manchester United and England, scoring some spectacular goals.
Newcastle just about get it clear. Rooney! Oh!
I practiced them nearly every day, and it was most of them go over the bar or wide, and lucky enough this one went right in the top corner, so I was really pleased with it.
Rooney is strong, skillful, quick, and has the confidence to try anything.
Here's Rooney. He really has tormented Argentina in this game. Here he is again. He's tried to chip the keeper.
The ball's obviously better for strikers than they are for goalkeepers nowadays. They do move a lot. If you catch the ball properly, it's almost impossible for the keeper to catch you. But I think we love it because it gives us a chance to score good goals and really just go out and try and impress.
Rooney burst onto the international scene with 4 goals at Euro 2004, and he's now known and feared the world over.
Played in here towards Owen. Rooney!
It doesn't matter if I'm playing against Exeter in the FA Cup or against Brazil in the World Cup final. I'll prepare myself properly and go out there and try and do the best I can in both games. So really, you've just got to be right in the head for a football game, and go out and give it your best shot.
In 2005, Rooney won FIFA Pro's inaugural World Young Player of the Year award, but he's hungry for more success.
Neville with a cross. Into Rooney! United have the lead.
When I'm retired, I've got medals there, winning medals, like League, FA Cups, Champions League, and hopefully a World Cup medal. I think then really I can say that I've succeeded in a way.
Next up, we continue our look at the 12 cities hosting the World Cup. And today we head to Stuttgart, capital of Baden-Württemberg. Stuttgart, gateway to the Black Forest, whose hard-working inhabitants have the highest per capita income in Germany. This is where Daimler-Benz was founded 110 years ago, and where a certain Alexander Porsche set up shop in 1931. There are, in fact, a staggering 150,000 businesses here. It's also bound by vineyards, so the locals can spend their hard-earned cash on wine, especially during the summer festival, which this year will run throughout the tournament. Local Swabian cuisine includes a pasta dish called Maltaschen and various noodle affairs, including Kaspatzel and Schupfnudeln mit Kraut. Stuttgart's most famous export is the baker's son, better known internationally as Germany coach Jürgen Klinsmann. The Blonde Bomber made his final appearance as a player at the Gottlieb Daimler Stadion, home of FC Stuttgart, in 1999. The ground has undergone a €51.5 million refurbishment for the World Cup. 48,000 fans will now be able to see Stuttgart's opening match when Switzerland played 1998 World Cup winners France. If Germany win their group, they'll be playing their second round match here. But those unable to get tickets needn't worry, as live games will be shown on giant screens in the Schlossplatz. After the break, we'll be reliving the 1966 World Cup final and meeting the Soca Warriors from the Caribbean.
Fusion.
Welcome back. We turn the clock back now 40 years to a classic World Cup match, reliving the 1966 final through the eyes of England's Martin Peters.
Well, when I played in the World Cup finals 1966, the atmosphere was absolutely unbelievable. You know, it's just Roy the Rover stuff for me. It was only 22 as well.
Wilson with a weak clearance into Haller. West Germany have the lead.
We were 1-0 down, and we knew that we were good enough to get back in the game, so we came forward more. And I guess if you look at the World Cup final and you look at Bobby Moore in particular, he came forward more. And in fact, the equaliser was a free kick where Bobby Moore got brought down by Wolfgang Overath, who was the guy who was marking me. And it was about, 25 yards out from goal. So that's how far he'd got forward.
Moore with a free kick. It's Jeff Hurst. England are level.
We so to get back into 1-1 to get into half-time. So we didn't go half-time with the score 1-0 to West Germany. Alan Ball won a corner on the right-hand side. It was about 12 minutes to go, and he took it himself, and how he got it to the far post, I don't know, and why Jeff Hurst was there, I don't know, but he collected the ball, so if you remember, I was still on the near post. And like a true striker, actually should have passed it and had a shot from outside the edge of the box and hit their defender Hookes and looped in the air. And really, I thought, as it's coming to me, just hit the target.
Peters scores. England have come from behind.
It still gives me tingles today just to talk about it. Running back, everyone all over you, Banksy out from the halfway line. It was fantastic.
Germany have to score now. Weber, they have scored. 2-2, and the match is heading for extra time. Alan Ball for England. Picks out Jeff Hurst. Oh, now is that a goal?
I was in the penalty spot, and I thought it got over the line. I honestly believe that it went over the line.
England are leading 3-2. Here's Hurst, 4-2, and his hat-trick.
Well, the whistle went immediately. Jeff, in fact, didn't know if it had gone in before the whistle, and he actually went out to the Wembley Stadium afterwards and looked up to see it was 4-2. True story.
From a classic match to a classic club now, we're off to Holland to continue our look at the super clubs providing many of the 736 players going to this summer's tournament. Ajax of Amsterdam are renowned the world over. They produced a long line of legends from the likes of Johan Cruyff, Dennis Bergkamp and Patrick Kluivert to more recent superstars like Dutch wonderkid Hedwigs Maduro.
It's an honor to play here, and when I was little I played for Ajax, so I grew up with the feeling to play for a big club as Ajax.
Founded in 1900, Ajax have enjoyed spells of domination both domestically and in Europe. They've won a record 29 Dutch championships, 15 Dutch Cups and 11 European trophies, including 4 European Cups.
Ambition is the key at this club. Ajax has given me a lot so far.
I was able to become a champion with Ajax. And you always want to play at the highest level. That's why it's motivating and fulfills my ambitions to play at such a club.
The club's two biggest gifts to the game are the concept of total football and their world-famous youth academy, which teaches the best to play the Ajax way.
We play with 3 strikers, and that's the key. The basic is play position play.
This summer, expect to see Ajax players representing Holland, the USA, the Czech Republic and Sweden.
It's the biggest thing you can play in soccer, so it's going to be a very nice summer.
If you play for Ajax, there's always pressure from the crowd. We must learn to play with that, and we must look to ourselves and not to other teams.
Up next, World Cup debutants Trinidad and Tobago. They may have the smallest population of any of the qualified nations, just over 1 million, but that hasn't stopped the Soca Warriors from reaching their first ever finals.
Bahrain with the corner. Trinidad and Tobago get it clear, it's all over. Trinidad and Tobago are going to the World Cup for the first time ever.
One man who's been waiting longer than most is captain and veteran striker Dwight York. He first played for the Soca Warriors in 1988, and after a glittering club career, including a treble-winning season for Manchester United, he's relishing the prospect of giving something back to his country.
Being at 34 years of age now and having to lead my country out on the World Cup stage on a historical day for Trinidad and Tobago, I would say that's the icing on the cake, and really excited, really thrilled to be in such a great position.
I've been about in 4 World Cup campaigns, and we haven't been getting there because of our performances and wise, but now that we have got a coach that really pushed us to the limit and we got ourselves there. It doesn't sound too far, but it was a dream before, but now it's reality.
The coach that made the difference is Leo Beenhakker. The ex-Holland and Real Madrid manager took over in May 2005 when World Cup qualification was looking very unlikely indeed. In a few short months, Beenhakker transformed the team.
He came in and really gave the players that belief, because when he came in, we had like 1 point from 3 games, which would have been really difficult to qualify then. Hats off to him, he done well when he came in and led the guys to believe in themselves and play as a team.
If it wasn't for his demeanour, his tactics, his personality, his know-how in the game, of course we won't be here sitting here talking about the World Cup.
He's been managing the best players in the world, and if he thinks something of you, like he has with me, and he's put me in the team, just fills you with confidence, really.
With Beenhakker on board, the team dramatically recovered from the poor start, eventually winning a playoff against Bahrain. Whilst the 2 legs against the Gulf country remain an emotional memory for many, for top scorer Stern John, it was a previous game that had given the players the necessary belief.
Here's Stern John. Oh, that's an outrageous effort!
And I think it was the game against Mexico. We needed to win the game. And I think we came on second half and we really played well. We really competed well, because we all know Mexico being a really big team, a big country.
Trinidad and Tobago press again. Here's Stern John. It's there! They've come from behind and lead.
Otis tried to play a ball through for me and deflected off a defender and just took it off my feet and smashed it in the top left-hand corner.
He's just outside the box left foot. He's not, well, he's both footed, but preferably right, and he just absolutely flew into the top corner. And the crowd as well, they got behind us, and it was just one of them games that you love to play in.
It wasn't impossible for us to beat Mexico. It's just putting on the right attitude and the belief in ourselves. And I think the guys knew the importance of it, and they believe in themselves, and they went and do the job.
However, there is a slight problem that might dampen the good mood. Several players who previously turned down the chance to play for Trinidad and Tobago are now hastily changing their minds and rooting out birth certificates. In welcoming these new additions, Beenhakker has to tread carefully to respect the players who have given many years' service.
You want to go to the World Cup with the strongest team and the strongest 11, you have a stronger squad. But you don't really, you've been there for so long, and you got to the World Cup now. It's going to be really disappointing if someone else comes in and take your position. But like I said, it's something that the coach and the staff is going to have to sort out. That's not really for a player to sort out, you know what I mean? But I think there's a few players that I'm not going to call any names, but I mean, in the early stages, we asked them to come and play for us, and they said no. But now that we got to the World Cup, they want to play now, and I'm not really happy with that, you know what I mean?
Along with Sweden and Paraguay, the Soca Warriors have been drawn with England in Group B. As so many Trinidadian players earn a living in England's various leagues, the chance to prove themselves against the Premiership's best is simply irresistible.
What's the next best thing to happen to us is to be in the same group of England, and that has happened. So when I got up in the morning and found out that we were, rest assured that I was jumping on my bed like a kid.
And that day is gonna be 11 v 11, and we're all human beings, and just have a go at it. I mean, we want to do well in the World Cup, and if we can beat England, it's just going to be added bonus for us.
Playing against England, I don't think for us is a big burden, because the burden for England is if we beat England, that will be their problem. I think everybody expecting England to beat Trinidad. Is a small country. We now get into the World Cup. But I think the big surprise will be once Trinidad beat England.
For Englishman Chris Birchall, who qualifies for the Soca Warriors through his mother, the draw is all the sweeter.
I was in a pub with all my mates. Everyone was gathered round just praying that England would come out, and England come out first, and then when the slip saying Trinidad and Tobago come out in the same group, the whole place just erupted. Everyone wishing me well, and couldn't believe that I'd be playing against really my home country.
Despite the excitement, the players are trying to avoid the usual cliches about how wonderful it is for their tiny nation to even qualify for a World Cup. They know they have a professional job to do, and that job is simply to qualify from Group B.
You know, at the beginning of the campaign of qualifying for the World Cup, we looked dead and buried, and here we are qualifying for the World Cup now, and we're in the World Cup. So, you know, for me in football, nothing surprised me.
We just don't want to go to the World Cup and be just another one of the teams like the past countries who've been there. We want to go and really leave a legacy that, I mean, it's a tall order, but I think we can get there if we really put our minds to it and work hard as a team.
That's almost it for now, but to end the show each week, we're giving one of the game's real superstars a chance to pick the teammates he'd like to play alongside in his ultimate dream team. Today, it's the turn of Juventus midfielder Patrick Vieira, winner of the 1998 World Cup with France, who's heading to Germany in search of a second title.
It's very tricky, but for my goalkeeper, I think I would pick Fabien Barthez, because I've played with him, and to me, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
Here's Dakin. Oh, fine save by Barthez. Really did well here.
Arrière gauche, je mettrais Paolo Maldini.
I would pick Paolo Maldini. And on the right, Cafu, because they're still playing professionally at their age, and they've been great examples to me. Then I would probably pick Baresi, because to me, he represents sheer elegance, and I'd make him play with Basile Boli. Basile Boli is a French player who's got strength and determination. In midfield, I would pick defensive midfielder Frank Rijkaard, because I love his elegance and simplicity. And in front of him, I'd put Zidane, because I think he's one of the best players in the world. On his right, I'd put Figo, because I love Figo. He's such a great player. And I would definitely pick Pelé to be my striker, because he's the best scorer of all time. And I think I'd make him play with Johan Cruyff, because he's cool and elegant, and he knows how to make other players shine.
Cruyff rounds the goalkeeper and scores.
That wraps it up for today. Next week, Holland, as we profile the perennial contenders and the World Cup newcomers, Ghana.